Hey everybody, it's Carol Billing, and I want to do a very quick overview of Common Curriculum. This is a web-based platform for developing curriculum, which I think is fantastic. It's kind of, for me, it was the answer to my dreams because I like to visualize my curriculum, and so I always was looking for like a huge wall to build it on with sticky notes or something like that, and this kind of does that in a way that's realistic and fits on the screen instead of across my entire office. So when you start, you create a plan book, you set the dates of the semester, and then, or you can make a plan book for the whole year. It can be however long or short you want. I do them by semester since I teach different courses each semester, and then the beauty is you just copy the whole plan book over for the next year once it's built and tweak it, and you're good to go. But I'll show you what a plan book looks like. There's also, you can set up groups and teams, and I have the pro version. I don't recall if I pay monthly or annually, but to me it was completely worth it to have the extra features for collaboration, the timeline, and access to clicking standards and having them pop right into lessons. So to me it was totally worth it. Yeah, it was a no-brainer. So to begin, I always seem to go back to the week view. It must have been the view I was in when I left. And I have, I teach online, so each one of my courses has one lesson plan a week generally. Some have multiple weeks where they're doing the same thing because they're online. So it's a little bit different than how I would set this up if I was teaching in a high school, in a traditional high school. But I can show you, I'll show you a couple things and it'll start to come together. Anyhow, the way I have it, since I teach essentially one class a week, their lesson plans are just on a different day. So my 4:15 is on Monday, 4:30 is on Tuesday. And that way I can see all four lined up this way. This is really helpful in the first week where I'm trying to get everybody calibrated to the technology that I use for communicating and for completing assignments. And so I literally have the same, almost the exact same words for each class. They're all doing the same objectives and outcomes. And the beauty in that is you can come right down here. Once you've written it once, you copy it. This is called a card. It's this whole section from this red. You can see that card. Copy the card, and I can come right over here and I can paste the card, and it pastes right over. So if you have similar classes that you just have to tweak, it becomes, lesson planning becomes very fast. And I'll also show you the day view lets you look just at one lesson plan. But I prefer to work in this lesson plan to see my whole week of what I'm doing in each class. So I have my objectives and outcomes, and then I come down here to procedures. And so this is where I would step through what I'm actually going to teach. If I was in the class, I would be modeling, giving an actual video tour, a Blackboard, but since my classes are all online, these are the videos that I've made to teach students how to navigate through the Blackboard. I do another video where I go through the syllabus and another video where I go through the course calendar. And even if I was teaching face-to-face, I might do these in recorded fashion because if your kids had devices, they could come to Common Curriculum, they could come right here to your plan book. I mean, you could teach your kids to come into your plan book and grab a video and watch a video. And sort of demystifies, what are we doing today? Or if they missed a class, what did we do yesterday? They could just go into your plan book and look. So there might be some benefit to that. I don't know. As a parent, I would love to look at this for my kids, not because I want to micromanage what they're learning, because quite frankly, I think the teachers are great. But to better understand what they're doing in class. Because, my kids get in the car and I'm like, what'd you do today? And, nothing. I played kickball at recess. Oh, okay, awesome. So I wish I had this as a parent. I wish I had access to this so I could understand what they're doing. But that may or may not work for you. I don't know. What was that else was I going to say? Oh, if parents are, you could, embed tutorial videos. Like you could have a card that's for parents and then it has like information specifically to the parents. So that would be kind of awesome. And give them a video of this is how Common Core Math, double-digit addition, this is how I teach it. And then they could look at that when they're trying to help their kid do homework and stuff like that. So anyway, explore, explain, guided practice. This is all from a lesson plan template that I just sort of adapted, but this goes through more instruction for my students. So in this particular first week, I'm introducing them to 4, several, 5, 10 new technologies. So I go through each technology, I give them a link to it. Here's the link for their class. So each one of these links are unique to the specific class I'm talking to, but a lot of the other words are similar. Explain how to use the snip tool, and there's a video on doing that. That's the same across every class. So you can see how the similarity becomes very quick in setting up your lesson plans. All right, so I teach I have an introduction survey and then a Slack, how to get into Slack. And they use Slack to communicate with students. And that came from ACTE because I had several of the teachers that presented in the 2017 ACTE conference are using Slack with their students. All right, so I have all these different things. Deliverables is what they need to find in Blackboard and turn in. And then also I have a link here with all of the links in one spot. So that's just, it's kind of repetitive, but if you're only looking at one, then it's not, because it's nice to have all those links in one spot. And so the day view right here would just give you the single day for the course. So my students for this course, they might only look at Wednesdays for each week. Oh, this is going to go through daily. One of the most, I'll show you monthly real quick. I don't work in monthly much at all, but it might be helpful if you had other events to enter in. And then what I love is this unit planner. This is what sealed the deal for me to take the time to learn this tool. Is you can have your classes here, and then you have your units here. Oh, here it is. You could build out, so if your administrator is asking for standards, you could put them in the unit, or this little circle right here is my lesson plan. And you can put here and click standards. And I already have it. I was going in here last, but let me show you Common Core State if you needed that. No, you wouldn't need Common Core for CT, but if you are having lessons that cross interdisciplinary, you could grab your Common Cores there, which is kind of awesome. And you can add standards if they don't have what you want. Let's see, how do I get back? I have to do something. That's interesting. Oh, look at that. You can click and stuff. There's so many new things. He's always adding stuff. Okay, here we go. Back to Idaho. And CTE standards are being added. My students have entered a lot of them. If these are the ones you need, they're already there. We'll have more. Administrative services, that's awesome because I'm teaching them this semester. So now they'll be able to go in and click on a standard, let's say these 3 standards are what you're teaching in that lesson. It goes through all of them. Awesome. Okay, sorry, obviously I'm not the marketing for this. Here we go, close and return to lesson. And so those standards are now in there. So that's pretty awesome. If you don't have anything else, if you don't have Schoolology does something very similar. Anyway, your lessons are right here above the units. And visually, this unit planner to me, this timeline, is fantastic. Because not only that, is I see when my units are ending. And so I can stagger them to stagger my workload for grading, which is important. So I don't have to tell you the rest. The veteran teachers are like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. I know, it's just awesome. Let's see, you can export your lesson plans out to a website. You can export your lesson plans to PDFs. Both of those are super handy. And I think that is a good beginning lay of the land for you to evaluate if this tool would be helpful for you. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Thanks. Bye.